Hi guys, happy Wednesday. So today I want to talk to you about intuition and what it means and how I help my clients get connected with themselves. So in my practice, a lot of the time this does come up, and I would say obviously my main focus is to go over the 4 quadrants with them and see where they are in their life, but a huge part of what I do is help an individual get really grounded, rooted, and connected with themselves and their intuition. This is a huge component of my practice and a huge passion of mine, because I want to be able to give them the tools to get the answers that they need, or find the clarity, or work towards those goals that they're wanting to accomplish in life, because yet again, like, everything's connected. So this topic kind of came up because I had a video that I wanted to shoot, and then I was thinking about the whole process of like how my videos came to be and how I wanted to originally shoot on Sundays. And then I was like, man, life's been busy and that hasn't really been happening. And on the weekend, like, I kind of just like chilled and had some serious like downtime because I was feeling under the weather. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I actually want to film about intuition. And the reason being is because sometimes what happens in life is we're going along and we have this goal originally set into place that we want to complete, but then life happens, and life's always happening. Like, you can't stop life essentially. So you have the goal, you're working at the goal's in place, and then life happens. So it's good to then at that point dial back in and see, like, okay, like, does this intuitively fit right for me right now? Or is this intuitively right to be like shooting and putting out videos on a Sunday? Or does it feel better to like shoot them and put them out during the week, which it may actually fit better for you? So I live my life relatively wholeheartedly based on just my intuition. So I try to intuitively eat. In the summer months, I have a different diet than I do in the winter months because it just feels better. My body needs different things. Even with my supplements, like, I intuitively take my supplements because my body needs different things at different times. I intuitively work out. If I change personal trainers, I intuitively pick my next trainer. I intuitively go to healing appointments. Mind you, like, I do that a little bit more regimentedly than most things. I intuitively get up in the morning. Like, I intuitively make connections. And it's, for me specifically, like, this is a huge part of how I live my life because it's just what fits best. And it's not saying that like routine is bad. Like, routine is really good, and a lot of people may have a hard time understanding their intuition, getting into their intuition, and intuitively living, because it puts you in a different flow of life, and it actually puts you in the flow of life. Not to say that routine doesn't, but routine limits things slightly, because if someone generally has a routine or they're driven by routine, they're like, oh, by this time I'm doing this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and their days go on. So routine is good for creating a dynamic of discipline, and as you use intuition, you do have to incorporate discipline into your day as well. But it sometimes routine misses the mark on things, because if I wasn't as intuitive or going with the flow of things, then I would be like in my ego mind being like, oh my gosh, like, I plan to have a video on this day and I don't have it because I'm not feeling well. Oh my gosh, what are people going to think of me? Da, 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 da. But I don't worry about it, because I'm just like, you know what? I created this program. It's mine, and this is how I live my life. So it's a far more freeing, expansive way to be in this world. It means that you are sometimes incorporating rules, and then you're sometimes following more of like a routine. So even if you are routine based, it doesn't mean that you cannot live in your intuition. It just means like you may need to find space to broaden some of that routine or let loose on certain areas, or have ranges in which you want to say like book clients or da 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 da. The other amazing thing about your intuition is your intuition, like we've always had our intuition. It's those very like primitive, primal, gut feeling. Like it has all of these different terminologies. We're just not familiar that intuition is actually gut feeling, is actually this inner awareness. It's actually coming from your heart space, to wrap it all into like one pretty little package. But we've had this since the dawn of existence. It's just something that we have lost as we've gone through a lot of like the revolutionary ages in the industrial area, and in today's society, like we're not really connected with ourselves. We're connected to people around us, and we constantly seek outside knowledge and outside guidance, and no, like you tell me what to do, or like I'm going to go to this guru, or I'm going to go to this person and this person and this person. We're constantly seeking outside of ourselves what we're innately born with. So when we're born into existence, this is one of my beliefs, is that we have a blueprint for our entire life, and our accomplishments, and like our mission and our soul path, and like where we're going. We have all of the answers. It's just inside of us. So my job with clients is to help them, instead of connect outside of themselves, instead of connecting to the gurus or connecting to all these people, my job is to help them connect with themselves and figure out, okay, like, is this goal that you want in life, this job you want, like this financial goal, this relationship you want, is this coming from your heart space? Is this coming from your, what feels really good for you, what lights you up inside? Or is this coming from like ego? Like you think this is what you should want, or, you want to perceive this certain way, or this is what your parents tell you should want, or da 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 da, and the list goes on and on and on. And sometimes what happens through this path or progression of connecting with yourself is there's some blocks that come up. And because we're constantly evolving, like today, you're a completely different person than you were yesterday. Yes, you have similar characteristics, likes, all of that stuff, but within that whole day, you gained different perspective, and your body was nourished differently. Like you're a completely different person in a lot of different ways. So when you learn to tap in more into your intuition, sometimes these blocks come up because fear comes up. Fear tends to be a block for intuition because it keeps you comfortable. So in order to get through that block, maybe like a healing needs to happen, or maybe you need to be aware of some inner dialogue that you're saying to yourself and what your mind's saying to yourself. So maybe you need to employ some more mindfulness, or maybe you have some limiting beliefs. So it's having a hard time. You're having a hard time like really understanding like what it is that you want. Or maybe, and I find this a lot with like my female clients who are, older in their life, they like have never had the honor to ask themselves what it is that you want. Like, what do you want in life? They think that like maybe they don't have the choice, or maybe they don't have that luxury of like, working towards those goals or manifesting that life that they want, or like being healthy and being happy. Some people genuinely feel like they don't have the right to be happy. Like they need to live or stay in relationships that aren't serving them because of responsibility, or it's comfortable, or what, they need to stay there for whatever other reason. I could go on for days. So that blocks that connection that we have with ourselves. And that's one of the things that we address and work through. And I give clients exercises to help them really get connected with themselves, which seems mind-boggling, but this is literally like a pandemic. Like there's not, there's definitely like handfuls of people that are more connected with themselves, but in general, like it's not really a thing. Like we're not as mindful of like, even if we eat a food, okay, well, what does that food really feel like for us? So this is one of my huge passions. And I think the important thing yes, long tangent, I like to talk. I just feel like I have a lot to say. So, and another important thing about your intuition too is like your intuition's not going to change, but who you are is constantly changing. So this then becomes like a daily or like a weekly exercise to constantly tuning into yourself to understand what feels good for you. So when I started my program, I was like, yes, I am totally going to post videos every single Sunday. And then now we're into like week 4 or 5. Last week I didn't post on Sunday. This week I'm not posting on Sunday. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, this posting on Sunday felt right for me then, and now it doesn't feel right. And that's okay. Like, you can change what you want in life, because if it's not feeling right for you in that moment, then don't do it. Don't go out with those friends. Don't launch that video. Don't write that test. Like, listen to your body and what your body is telling you. Your body is constantly trying to communicate with you. Your heart space is constantly trying to communicate with you. Your intuition is constantly trying to communicate with you. So stop. Just stop and listen and see what it has to say, because that's the most important thing. And it doesn't mean you're a failure, and it doesn't mean you didn't show up for yourself. It's actually the opposite. It means that you are successful. Like, in those moments, you did what felt right for you, and you were able to fill your cup up a little bit more, which is probably the most important thing. So intuition, like our goals in life, like nothing should ever be concrete. Nothing should ever be like super like, this is 100% what I'm doing, this is what I want. Because what if it's like an example of like going to medical school, and you've studied and you've studied and you've studied and you wrote your tests and you got into the school and you're about to accept the letter and go off, and then all of a sudden you're just like, something doesn't feel right about this. You need to listen to your intuition in those moments, because that's telling you something for a reason. And the more you get connected with your inner self, the more you get connected with your intuition, the more you'll understand, like, okay, is this ego? Like, is this fear-based? Like, is this response happening out of fear? Like, I'm afraid to go, or whatever story you're telling yourself. Or is this happening because in this moment, yes, that's very much what I wanted all the way along, but in this moment, it's not what I wanted. And it's okay for you to say no in those moments, because what happened was you grew, and while you were growing and moving and evolving, what you wanted in your heart space evolved. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. Nothing in life is really right or wrong. We denote that. It just means like what you want changed, and it evolved and it grew. And that's a very beautiful thing. But you needed to have that understanding of taking the tests and maybe going through that protocol. That piece was important for you to help you with other areas of your life. It's the same with like people who think that they want to do something, so they go to school for it, and then at the end they finish their program, maybe work for a little bit, and they're like, you know what, this doesn't really satisfy me. That's okay. It means your heart space, your desires, your goals have changed. And don't stay in the job for another 20 years. That's ludicrous. Like, sit down, get connected with yourself, and figure out, okay, you know what? I did this. I learned something. I got debt, whatever, life experience. It's all good in the hood. Now what do I want? Now what's feeding my soul? So part of the issue with following your intuition is sometimes you're not fully there. You're not fully connected with yourself. And that's where it's really helpful to go to a coach, a soul coach, who can help you get dialed into your intuition, or a healer who can help you get more dialed into that heart space and keep digging. And again, like, this is not like you do it once and then you're like, yes, I know what I want for my future. No, it's not like that at all. Like, it constantly changes. It's something that you do every single day, and you constantly reaffirm. I don't know how many like intuitive downloads or ideas I get all of the time, but they're not necessarily for me, they're for other people. Or maybe I like try this shoe on for a little bit, see how it feels, and then I'm like, nah, I'm good. Now I'll pass that shoe to someone else, right? So yeah, intuition, it's such a, like, we have this tool. Like, we've had this tool for a while. It's important. It's important that we start waking up and getting connected with ourselves and understanding how our body feels. You don't necessarily have to leap and do like intuitive eating and all this stuff. But it is important to incorporate it into some of your day and just like see how things go. And that's when you start doing that, you start really freeing yourself and finding more joy in life and running into those, coincidental, not coincidental, like meetings where you land huge gigs or opportunities open up in front of you because you're no longer just like holding on to what you think that you want or you think you should get or you think that you need in life. Because really, like, if you're thinking about it, it's probably not what you need. You need to feel it out. Like, it needs to come from within. That's where the answers are within. So that's my video this week. I don't know if I'm going to be doing videos every Sunday, because like, I very intuitively run my life. I intuitively run my practice, and it's just what works for me, and it's what I like to preach about. It's how I like to help clients understand life on like a much deeper level. I will definitely be having frequent videos for y'all, and they like Wednesday seem like a good day right now for posting them, and we'll just kind of go from there. I hope you guys like this video this week. If you have any questions at all about intuition, like, please reach out to me. I love answering people's questions. Obviously, I like talking, as you can tell. I could talk for days about this stuff. So I'm really glad y'all are listening. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please email, comment, like, share, subscribe, hop on over to my Instagrams. You can reach out to me there if you have any questions, or maybe you need some advice or some guidance, or you want me to make certain videos. Like, y'all just let me know. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you. Be kind to one another. Bye.